Olivia, listen to me. This morning, Ian was crying after looking at his lunch. For him to cry, just how awful was the lunch you made? Make a new one today and bring it to the house. What? You heard me, right? If you don't bring it by this evening, there'll be consequences. You need to make up for what my child went through. Don't tell me you're thinking of ignoring this without owning up to your mistake. I've never seen such a lazy daughter-in-law in my life. Excuse me? Or is it that you were raised poorly and can't even cook? Honestly, I feel so sorry for Ian for choosing a wife like you. Do you have any idea how much I worry about him? As long as you're part of this family, I won't tolerate anything that embarrasses us. Clara, you've been blaming me nonstop, but I've been feeling unwell since yesterday and I plan to rest today. Please don't make unreasonable demands. Feeling unwell? Do you really think that's an excuse? I've never heard of a wife who can't even manage her own health. You should be ashamed to call yourself a homemaker. And let me remind you, when I hurt my back and couldn't move, you didn't even come to check on me. You made up some excuse to avoid it back then too, but stop pretending to be a good daughter-in-law. I was truly busy at that time. Besides, I thought it made more sense to ask Ian since he's closest to you. I didn't expect to get this much anger over it. You always push the responsibility onto others. If you can't fulfill your role as Ian's wife, maybe it's time you leave this house. You're the reason the family atmosphere is so unpleasant. Hearing you deny me so much honestly makes me sad. I've been trying my best. But if that's still not enough, I guess I need to reconsider things too. Stop acting like a victim. You're the one ruining our family. Until you reflect on your behavior, there's no place for you in this home. I see. In that case, I'll have to talk with Ian and decide what to do. I'll take action to protect my own life. Olivia? It seems you're not at home. How can a daughter-in-law leave the house like that? With behavior like this, there's no way my Ian can be happy. Do you understand? What on earth are you doing? Clara, it seems Ian hasn't told you. Actually, my father passed away. I'm leaving the house to attend his funeral. Ian said he couldn't make it because of work. And so what? What? Skipping your housework just because of your father's funeral? How disgraceful. I don't care if it's a funeral or whatever. Leaving your chores for something like that is unbelievable. Knowing Ian would be inconvenienced and still putting that first? What kind of mindset is that? You're unqualified to be his wife. Utterly ridiculous. Clara, please stop for a moment. Calling a final farewell to a parent ridiculous is way too terrible, don't you think? Do you even have the bare minimum of human decency? And how exactly does my attending the funeral inconvenience you so much? If it were your own parent who passed away, I'm sure you would stop everything to be there no matter what. I don't want to hear such ridiculous excuses. I already know that someone like you won't understand a single thing, no matter how much I explain it. Abandoning your responsibilities at home and trying to justify it is absolutely absurd. Stop playing the victim. You always exaggerate by calling everything terrible and make me out to be the villain, don't you? This is why I can't stand a daughter-in-law who doesn't know her place. I don't need someone who's just a burden and adds more work for me. Stop wasting my time with these pointless things. I'm busy too, you know, and I can't believe I even have to take care of you. Give me a break. What's up, Miss Ineffective Daughter-in-Law? Are you there? I wonder if you finally understood anything I said. I just want you to properly understand your role as Ian's wife. Cool off a little. Even that foolish brain of yours might work better once it's cooled down. Unbelievable. All I did was say I wanted to attend my parents' funeral, and you actually went out of your way to dump ice water on me? Of course, I went out of my way to bring it. You're so foolish and don't care at all about the trouble you caused Ian. Since you're such an inconsiderate, useless wife, this is the only way to make you understand, isn't it? Seriously, not listening even when told? Your brain is worse than the preschoolers. The one being inconsiderate here is you. And what exactly do you mean by trouble? You have no right to stop me from attending my own parents' funeral. Enough. You're always meddling in our household affairs. Don't you feel ashamed of yourself? Ashamed? Coming from someone who shamelessly does embarrassing things? How fitting for a wife who neglects her husband and wants to go out and work. Trying to abandon your duties as a wife? How bold of you! Working as a couple is basically telling the world your husband doesn't earn enough. It's embarrassing to even think about. You don't understand the concept of appearances, do you? I guess I really have to go this far for someone so foolish. It's very clear to me now what you think of me, Clara. That said, I'm going to my father's funeral no matter what you say. What? You're still insisting on going? Stop this at once. If you go, then get divorced and never come back to this house. I don't need a useless daughter-in-law like you. Poor Ian. I understand. I'll never return. Then get lost. Hey, this is Ruby. It's been a while since we last spoke. How have you been? Ruby. I heard you'll be returning tomorrow. Could you share a bit about your arrival time? Around what time should I expect you? If it's okay with you, I'll prepare to come and pick you up. So please, feel free to let me know. Thank you, Ruby. That was the plan. I thought I'd arrive around noon, however, things have changed a bit. It'll probably be in the evening or at night. I'll let you know as soon as I have a clearer idea of when I'll arrive. That sounds tough. Was there some kind of trouble? If it's urgent, please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. A lot is going on. Right now, I'm in the middle of packing my things. It was so sudden, so I'm trying to stick to just the bare necessities, but it's still taking time to sort everything out, and it's exhausting. Emotionally, I feel a bit rushed too. Well, that does sound tiring. You finally decided to leave the house, haven't you? It's a big step, so I imagine it's challenging in many ways. But please know I'll support you with everything I've got. Consider me your strongest ally, and don't hesitate to rely on me. Yeah, Dad's no longer here, and I figured it was only a matter of time before I left anyway. That's truly wonderful, really. However, I heard that the plan was to wait until things had settled down a bit more. Actually, I'm completely stunned by everything you've just told me. I'm so shocked that I'm at a loss for words. It's like she's from another planet or something. You've truly been through so much, ma'am. These past few days must have been exhausting for you, both physically and mentally. To help you feel even a little better, I'll prepare plenty of your favorite fried chicken for tomorrow's dinner. I'll even add a little twist to the usual recipe for you. Wow, really? Ruby, your fried chicken is absolutely amazing. It's so crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside, and I've never found anything better no matter where I go. I'm so happy I'll get to taste that flavor again after so long. I appreciate it. I'll put my heart into making it to your liking, so please look forward to it. That said, having you return here is the most wonderful news for me as well. It's such an honor to be able to assist you again. I know you've been busy with funeral arrangements and various formalities, but please don't overexert yourself. I'll personally contact the lawyer you consulted so you can focus on the matters at hand with peace of mind. You've been such a help, Ruby. I'm always amazed by how quick and efficient you are. For most people, making this much progress in such a short time would be impossible. I feel bad for relying on you so much, but I'm truly grateful. It's no trouble at all. Being able to support you is my greatest joy. This is only natural as part of my duties as a housekeeper, but please, don't hesitate to ask for anything. I'll do whatever it takes to assist you. Thank you, Ruby. I don't know what I would have done without you. Honestly, preparing to leave the house was emotionally tough, but I was able to get through it because you were with me. Thank you so much. I honestly thought it would be impossible to prepare for leaving the house without getting caught, but thanks to you, I was able to carry out my plans perfectly. I'm just glad I could be of help to you, ma'am. But if I may be so bold, shouldn't you have left that house much sooner? I didn't want to worry my dad. I knew he didn't have much time left. Until he went to heaven, I wanted to stay by his side as his happily married daughter. You know, he was happier about my marriage than anyone else. You're so kind. But that's all over now. I'm done being the obedient little wife and pretending to be a good daughter-in-law. They've pushed me too far. Let's see how they like it when I pay them back, not double, but 100-fold. I'll crush them to pieces. That's the spirit, but do keep in mind, your opponents are like aliens who don't even speak our language. They don't understand reason, so please be cautious with your counterattack. Oh, come on, Ruby. Counterattack sounds a bit much. Treating aliens as if they're human would be a great insult to humanity after all. Oh no, now you've got me laughing. I'm glad to hear that. A smile is the source of energy after all. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Do you really think you can just do something like this without even asking? You're absolutely the most shameless daughter-in-law I've ever seen. Why did you leave the house without permission? Get back here right now and do your chores. Ian must be struggling. He was complaining about not having dinner. How could you let your husband go hungry? Don't you dare repay the kindness of being supported with such ungrateful behavior. With all due respect, wasn't it you who told me to leave? So I just followed your orders and left. Why am I now being blamed for that? Don't you talk back to me. Acting on your own like this proves you're a failure as a daughter-in-law. When you come back, I'll have to teach you some proper manners. Excuse me? Who said anything about coming back? I'm not returning to that house. What nonsense are you spouting now? You're just a housewife with no income. You can't possibly survive on your own, can you? You're so naive. You should be grateful we even let someone so useless stay as part of the family. Actually, I paid for my own transportation to get to my parents' house. And since I won't be your daughter-in-law anymore, could you stop acting so high and mighty with me? What? I have something I'd like to tell you. Everything has finally been taken care of. What? Who cares? Just come back home. As of today, the divorce papers have been officially filed. This means my relationship with Ian is completely over. From now on, please stop interfering in my life. And just so you know, you no longer have any say in this matter. Excuse me? What kind of nonsense are you spouting? Divorce papers? There's no way Ian would sign something like that. You must have forged his signature, didn't you? I'll never accept something like this. There's no way he would ever want a divorce. This must be some sort of conspiracy. Yes. That's it, absolutely. No, I didn't forge anything. I made sure to get Ian's signature and seal in advance. He just didn't know about it. Or would you like to confirm it with Ian yourself? What? That can't be. Ian is pretty controlling, you know. Before we got married, we agreed to both keep working. But after the wedding, he told me to quit and be a housewife. Your constant nagging didn't help, and once I became a housewife, he started threatening me, saying, "You're unemployed, so I can toss you any time." He even made me sign divorce papers as part of his threats. When I left the house, I took those papers with me, and today I submitted them. You divorced him without permission? What were you thinking? Ian prepared those papers himself. If you have complaints, take them up with him. This is fraud. I'll sue you for this. Feel free, go ahead. But you'll need mediation to invalidate divorce papers that have been officially filed, you know. Mediation takes time, and more than anyone, you must know it won't change a thing, right? What? What do you mean by that? You need to stop this nonsense already. What on earth are you thinking? You're the one who filed for divorce, right? Why should Ian have to pay compensation? You're the one at fault here. He's not to blame. It's your responsibility to pay him. You know perfectly well that your son is the one at fault, don't you? I mean, not only did you turn a blind eye to his affair, but your whole family even supported his relationship with the other woman. What are you talking about? Playing dumb won't work, you know. I've already sent you the evidence, haven't I? I knew about his affair long ago. You all looked down on me thinking I was a fool and didn't even bother hiding the evidence properly. Thanks to that, I was able to gather plenty of proof, which really helped me out. Even my lawyer said it's rare to see someone with this much evidence. Ian only cheated because you made him feel lonely, so it's your fault. And now you're stealing money from him? How can you do this as his wife, you thief? Wife? That's funny coming from you. You're the one who never treated me as part of the family, remember? But well, there's no point talking to people who use their own home as a meeting place for his affair. You've got to be kidding me! You won't get a single cent from us. Then it'll just go to court. Court? I've already hired a lawyer, so if you really think I'm the one at fault and don't want to pay compensation, go ahead and hire a lawyer yourself. Let's settle this thoroughly. It's obvious I'm going to win, so you might have trouble even finding a lawyer. What nonsense are you spouting? Are you trying to intimidate us with empty threats? You must have strained that tiny brain of yours, but I'm not falling for it. Excuse me? Listen, let me explain this in a way even your weak little brain can understand. Hiring a lawyer and going to court costs a lot of money, and you as a housewife don't have that kind of money, do you? Too bad your bluff didn't work. Oh, I see. Is that how it is? You really don't know anything, do you? Stop pretending to be tough. Hey, I find this really strange. What's going on here? What's this about you being the one who supported the household? Ian said the water and gas were shut off. He said you were the one managing all the money. Well, of course. The utilities and all other bills were being paid from my account, which I've already closed. That guy dumped everything about the house on me. He didn't even realize I was the one managing the finances. He actually thought he could handle everything with just his own income. It's honestly hilarious. That can't be true. You were a housewife, weren't you? I only couldn't work outside because a certain someone wouldn't stop nagging. These days, there are so many ways to work, you know. Even though Ian kept insulting me, calling me a useless leech and all that, I was doing remote work on the home computer. He refused to include me as a dependent, calling me a freeloader, so I did all the tax filings on my own. Honestly, I'm surprised he never noticed. Who's the clueless one now? There's no way you could earn enough working remotely to support the household. And if you had a job somewhere, it would be obvious between a husband and wife. If Ian didn't notice at all, there must be something shady going on.
Do you think so? But I wasn't technically employed, It's no wonder Ian didn't notice. Besides, I didn't feel the need to tell him, nor was I intentionally keeping it a secret.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Specifically, I wasn't under an employment contract. I was helping out with my parents' company as an individual. It feels a little odd to take a salary for helping family, doesn't it? So instead, they supported me financially in the form of allowances. Of course, those allowances were quite generous.
What? So basically, you were mooching off your parents and living comfortably? And then you had the audacity to claim you supported the household? Unbelievable.
If you mean that I received money from my parents, then sure, I guess that's true. But I've worked more than enough to earn the money I was given. Also, it's not just my earnings now.
What do you mean?
Inheritance. I inherited everything from my parents as per their wishes. So honestly, I've never struggled financially, neither in the past nor now. All I want is for you to pay for the pain and suffering you've caused me. For now, it's just him, but once I'm ready, I'll be suing you as well for assault, so be prepared.
Why are you acting like the victim? We're the ones suffering right now.
Ma'am, how are things going? Was there anything missing or out of order? Is the new house comfortable for you? I'm sorry we couldn't prepare everything properly since it was all so rushed.
Not at all, thank you, Ruby. From helping with the move to cleaning, honestly, I feel like I've relied on you too much.
Please, let me do at least this much. It's an honor to be of service to you. I've served the master and his family for many years, but the one I've truly enjoyed serving has always been you. It feels good to really put effort into something again.
You've always taken care of me even back then. Thank you. And for helping with the affair investigation too.
It's nothing. You had already gathered a lot of evidence yourself, miss. But collecting evidence on your own must have been emotionally tough, no? If I can help, please don't hesitate to rely on me any time.
I'm so grateful to you, Ruby, but with this, I can finally make him pay compensation. Then, my revenge will finally be over.
Oh? What are you talking about? Considering what he did to you? Isn't it a bit too lenient to settle everything with just some compensation?
Well, I'd love to do more, but there's nothing else I can really do, is there?
You're too kind, miss. But yes, perhaps there isn't much more you can do right now.
What do you mean?
I mean that even if you don't do anything, divine punishment might take care of it.
Hey, how long are you planning to stay away? You really lack any sense of responsibility as Ian's wife. Get back here right now. With Ian's income, we can't maintain the same standard of living as before. You used to do everything around here, so the house is a mess now. Stop making things harder for Ian.
We're complete strangers now, so please handle it yourselves. If you need someone to do housework so badly, why not hire a housekeeper or ask that woman he had an affair with?
She ran away, and after all Ian did for her...
Oh, he spent quite a lot on her, didn't he? Despite not putting a single cent into the household, he ran out of savings so badly he couldn't even pay the utility bills. It's all his own fault. If you don't like it, go take out a loan or something. And don't forget to pay me the compensation too.
It's all your fault things turned out this way. Fix it. Hey, Olivia, please help me. Ian suddenly left the house. I've been looking everywhere, but I can't find him. He hasn't come to your place, has he?
If he had, I would have kicked him out immediately. What do you mean he's gone?
He was tricked by someone he knew and borrowed money from a loan shark. They said it was a no-interest loan, so he took it.
Ah, so he fell for something like that. My condolences. Not realizing such deals are too good to be true, that's pretty dumb, honestly.
That wasn't how it was supposed to be. The loan sharks later said the interest would only be waived while he worked for them. I had no idea it was going to be like this.
People who run scams like that always put the scary stuff in super tiny fine print, you know? But he's the one who borrowed the money, not you, right? Don't tell me you co-signed for the loan.
That's exactly it. Now the collectors are after me too. Ian got overwhelmed by the insane interest rates and ran off. What am I supposed to do? Please help me. At this rate, my life is really over.
There's nothing I can do about it. Oh, but since you borrowed money, that means you have some, right? In that case, please prioritize paying the compensation. I've also filed a claim against you for harassment and violence, so make sure you pay that too.
That's impossible. I seriously have no money right now.
If it's impossible, then your assets will be seized. At the very least, take responsibility for cleaning up your own mess. Even a foolish housewife like me can understand that much. Hey, Ruby, my mother-in-law is saying some strange things. Do you know anything about it? As foolish as he is, it seems a bit too convenient for him to get involved with loan sharks at this timing. It feels unnatural. Oh my, even those extraterrestrials can't stand up to truly scary people. To answer your question, I didn't directly do anything. I see, so it's just a coincidence. Oh, it's purely a coincidence. It just so happens that one of my friends knows someone who works in that kind of field. And purely by chance, I happened to vent about this situation to that friend. What? I brought it up to my friend, and coincidentally, she ran into that friend of hers. Apparently, out of goodwill, she passed along the information about someone in financial trouble. It's nothing but a chain of coincidences. I didn't do anything directly, so please rest assured. It's just that my friend got a little overzealous. Come on, Ruby. That's practically a premeditated scheme. Telling a loan shark that someone's in financial trouble is basically like handing over a perfect target on a silver platter. Well, you could say that, but my friend only acted with good intentions, and there was no malice involved, I assure you. Besides, all I did was vent to my friend and mention that those who hurt someone as important as you deserve divine punishment. Ruby, I truly admire how calm, clever, and shrewd you are. Still, having a friend with those kinds of connections, who are you, Ruby? Me? I'm just an ordinary housekeeper. As a housekeeper, my greatest joy is being of service to you. Nothing more, nothing less. But honestly, for a normal housekeeper to pull something like this through a loan shark's acquaintance, I'm stunned. I'd love to keep relying on you in the future, but your ability is so overwhelming. I feel a bit overwhelmed. Maybe you could tone it down a notch next time. I'll take that as a compliment. However, I won't be holding back, so don't expect me to. My goal is to ensure that you can live in an environment full of smiles. I'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. You're truly the most reliable ally I could ever ask for. But are your actions really all just for justice? Or is there a small part of you that's doing this for the fun of it? Well, how you perceive it is entirely up to you. But whenever I take action, it's always for your sake. That much you can rest assured of. And please, continue to rely on me as much as you need. I'm here solely to protect you. Ian, my ex-husband, ended up being chased by loan sharks and forced into grueling labor from morning till night. Rumor has it that he tried to escape several times, unable to endure his restrictive life, but each attempt failed, and now his only purpose in life is repaying his debt. But what shocked me even more than Ian's fate was what happened to Clara. As the co-signer for Ian's loans, she was forced to sell her house to repay the debt. She lost all her assets, leaving her with just a few belongings. She reportedly moved from house to house, relying on acquaintances, but never stayed long anywhere. Eventually, she started living alone in a small apartment. However, life wasn't easy for her, and neighbors often saw her collecting trash early in the morning. She claimed she was earning money through recycling, but she became someone everyone in the area avoided. Lately, she's been telling people that she's waiting for her son to be freed from the loan sharks, but whether that day will ever come is uncertain. As her health declines with age, even she probably doesn't know how she'll survive from here on out. Meanwhile, I returned to my parents' company and now live with my mom while working freely. Thanks to Ruby supporting my mom, I've finally been able to reclaim my life. Reflecting on everything that's happened, I want to focus on showing gratitude to my parents and making sure I never have any regrets.
Thank you for watching. Please rate the video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.